wants to divorce his emotionally abusive and sexist husband because abused her when she gives birth to a baby girl. I, 27-year-old female, have been with my husband, 𝐒𝐓, 29-year-old male, for 5 years, and we have been married for 3 of those years. For context, 𝐒𝐓 comes from a Thai family that moved to New York 25 years ago. None of his family members are practicing, but they still prefer marrying within their religion. However, my husband believes that religion should not be a hindrance in marriage. He thinks that if 2 people want to marry each other, they should proceed with the marriage without considering their religion. Marriage, according to him, should be seen as a bond between 2 individuals, not just 2 individuals of the same religion. I belong to a white moderate family, and I also share the same views on marriage as my husband. We met at university in 2019, and soon became good friends because we shared many things, from quiz marks to hobbies, music, and food preferences. After being friends for 2 months, he proposed to me on the last day of our first semester. I found him to be a very decent and responsible person, so I accepted his proposal within a week. But I also told him that I wanted a serious relationship with him. He happily replied that he also had the same intention when he approached me. After hearing this, I felt very lucky to have such a person in my life. After dating for 1.5 years, we decided to get married. Initially, our families were hesitant regarding the interreligious marriage, but they had to agree because of our persistent insistence. Our marriage was perfect, and we were so happy. It felt like our entire life was perfect because I had a loving husband, a beautiful home, and economic stability. After a few months into our marriage, I became pregnant, and my husband and I were overjoyed, as was the rest of our family. After 3 months of the pregnancy, I had a gender identity test and found that our baby was a boy. My husband was very happy after learning this because he had always told me he wanted at least 1 son. He was not only happy, but he also took the initiative to baby-proof our home and started setting up a nursery for our baby. He bought essential items like clothes, blankets, and bedding for both me and the baby. I tried to tell him that he was doing things too early, but he was determined to be prepared. When I was 6 months pregnant, a routine checkup revealed that my baby might be at risk of preterm birth. The obstetrician recommended a test for chlamydia, which came back positive. After 2 weeks, I gave birth to a premature child who was immediately taken to the incubator and died after 1 week. It broke me, and I fell into severe depression, and even at one point considered taking my life. But my husband was there for me during all of it, and we got through the grief. After 4 months of that awful incident, we went on a long trip to Europe, and in 2 months, we visited all countries of the European Union, England, and Russia. After this trip, our marriage felt stronger than ever, and life started slowly feeling beautiful again, even if it no longer felt perfect. About 5 months ago, I found out I'm pregnant again, and then soon after, discovered that we're having triplets. My husband and I were over the moon because we wanted 2 to 3 children, and we had achieved that goal. We decided that we wouldn't try for any more children after this. Having triplets was the most satisfying feeling I had ever experienced. As I mentioned above, my husband had always been very good to me. However, this news made him an even more doting husband. He started working on the nursery for our children and collecting more baby essentials because this time we were expecting 3 babies. After the 18th week of the pregnancy, we decided to host a baby shower and gender reveal party. We decided that I alone would go for a test to ascertain the genders of our babies, and the gender of the babies would be a surprise for my husband and all other family members. So, I went alone, and after my return from the clinic, I revealed the gender of the babies to my brother David, 28-year-old male, and entrusted him with arranging the gender reveal party. He was specifically in charge of buying confetti cannons according to the gender of the babies and launching them at the party. The baby shower went wonderfully with my parents, in-laws, my brother and his wife and their daughter, and tons of friends and extended family. It was like a dream come true, and I was so excited for the gender reveal. I didn't care what the gender of our babies was. I just wanted healthy little babies. But my husband was clearly excited for potentially 3 sons. When the time came, my husband, my brother, and I all shot a confetti cannon, and all 3 shot out pink confetti. I was so excited, and so was my brother. But my husband screamed at the top of his lungs and hit the table in front of us so hard that it actually broke. He screamed at me that I was supposed to give him at least 1 son because I killed his first one. This was the first time he spoke to me in this tone, and it was shocking for me. I burst into tears. My brother immediately stepped in and tried to get my husband to calm down, but my husband shoved my brother away. My brother then pulled me inside where I cried in the living room while my husband's mother tried to calm him down. I could hear him screaming outside about how 3 daughters are too many, how he doesn't want 4 kids but he also wants a son. I had been broken up about the death of my son, and I was slowly recovering from that wound. My husband, the love of my life, gave me another one. This one was actually deeper than the first, because the person who had been supporting me was now blaming me for the 3 baby girls we were expecting. Since that moment, my husband has hardly talked calmly to me, and we have argued twice, and he has been sleeping in the guest room since then. When I tried to talk to him about the matter, he confronted me and said he wanted at least one son. When I asked how I killed our first son, he said that if I had not gotten that infection, our son would not have been born prematurely and would not have died in the hospital. I was surprised to hear such lame arguments from my husband. When I told him this, a heated argument started between us, and it only ended when my mother-in-law intervened. All his arguments were wrong, but I still wanted to talk to him about our daughters, because I didn't want them to be ignored this way. Perhaps there is a hope deep in my heart that my husband will return to normal after some days. So, next week, I went to the guest room again and tried to talk to him about it. I asked how he would be with our daughters, but he spat at me and told me that he would provide them shelter and food. He said he wasn't interested in daughters and didn't plan to have a close relationship with them. This time, I didn't confront him. Instead, I decided to divorce him. Earlier today, I confided in my mother and MIL about all this, but they told me I can't divorce my husband just because he wants a son. I don't want my daughters to grow up in an unloving household where their parents constantly argue and their father doesn't love them. The moment my husband said I killed our son, I felt as though I lost all love I had for him in an instant. And I don't want my daughters to be in that kind of household. However, both my mom and MIL say it's just natural for men to want sons, and that at least he isn't saying he'll mistreat them. They treated this as an absolute fact, and acted as though I'm just a silly little girl who doesn't know anything. I felt incredibly small and stupid. I don't know what to do. My mother and MIL make me feel like maybe I'm overreacting to my husband's behavior, but my brother says this is not normal. I'm also not sure of what I'll do with myself if I divorce my husband. I don't work, and I'm not sure how I'll be able to find a job that can support me and 3 babies all on my own, or how I'll make time for all of them when I have to work. I feel so lost and helpless. I'm torn on what to do because I worry divorce will be too brash of a decision, and that maybe my mother and MIL are right. AITA for wanting a divorce? OP is not an AH because her husband's reaction at the gender reveal was emotionally abusive. Blaming OP for their son's death and rejecting the daughter is unacceptable. OP's husband's behavior is toxic and harmful to both OP and OP's children. No child should grow up feeling unwanted, and it's commendable that you want to protect your daughters from this environment. OP is justified in demanding a divorce because prioritizing her and her children's well-being is not overreacting. More power to OP. What do the MacReddit fans think? Is the OP an AH or not? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like the stories I brought you, just hit the like button, share them as much as you can, and don't forget to subscribe to MacReddit for a daily dose. Bye bye, see you tomorrow with some more spicy fries.